Welcome back, Bulldogs fans. Today, we are going to be recapping the Martinsburg versus HD Woodson game. So if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like below, and let's jump right in. The Bulldogs opened this game with a surprise onside kick, which was recovered by Mason Wally at the 31-yard line. After a few nice runs put Martinsburg at the 2-yard line, Ty Ricketts takes the snap at quarterback and hands it off to Brian Dick, who was lined up at running back, and he scores to put the Bulldogs up 7-0 quickly. They'd actually kick off to the Warriors this time, setting up the first offensive drive, and the Bulldogs' front seven continues to get pressure on quarterbacks this season, forcing a 3rd and long where Martin Leonard would actually throw a beautiful ball down the sideline, but it would be dropped by his intended target, setting up 4th down. After Todd's punt return for a touchdown is called back for a block in the back, the Dogs take over at the Warriors' 45, and Todd would take a screen pass all 45 yards untouched to make this game 14-0 just 4 minutes into the game. After a quick 3 and out for HD, the Bulldogs take over, and Todd would take advantage of some soft coverage again to pick up a 1st down. But penalties did pop up again in this game, as it would force the Dogs into a 2nd and 27 situation, but that man Boston Todd would catch a deep pass across midfield, setting up a 1st down for the Bulldogs. After the 5th penalty of the first quarter on the Bulldogs backed them up to midfield, Dick would find Boston Todd all the way to the 4, and with that play, Boston Todd and Brian Dick actually had more yards in the first quarter of this game than they did combined in the first 2 games completely. From the 4, though, Brian Dick would take a keeper into the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game, making it 21-0 Martinsburg. HD's following possession seen them facing a 4th and 1 from their own 34, and that Bulldogs front seven just blows up the 4th down try, giving Martinsburg great field position. The very first play of that next drive sees Brian Dick looking deep again and finding Boston Todd for a 34-yard touchdown, putting them up 28-0. And this is the passing performance that we kind of thought we would see heading into this season. HD Woodson continues to struggle on offense, nearly turning the ball over before punting a short one on the ground that Boston Todd picks up and nearly scores, racing down the sideline to the 10, setting up the sophomore Kevin Myers, who runs it in as the first quarter expires, making it 35-0 Martinsburg. Starting the 2nd quarter, a confused HD Woodson team lets the kickoff bounce around inside the 5, which lets the Bulldogs recover for as short a field as you can ask for, and Cofield will take a fullback dive right up the middle to make it 42-0 Martinsburg. After a few nice runs from Harris, HD Woodson finally moves the sticks a little bit and cross midfield for the first time in this game. However, the drive would stall as Leonard, being hit as he's throwing, is picked off by Kobe Walker, who follows his blockers and returns it nicely deep into Woodson territory. Brian Dick would find Boston Todd to extend the drive and then finds Ty Ricketts, who takes a short pass all the way down to the 6, where Cofield would take the carry and run it in for his 2nd score of the game, making this one 49-0 with still 6:30 left in the half. The ensuing kickoff would see a monster hit by the Bulldogs force a fumble, and they would recover at the 35, and just more disaster striking the Warriors in this game. Kevin Myers would take a nice run on the first play to the 14, which sets up a beautiful RPO play from Brian Dick to Ty Ricketts for a touchdown, which makes it 56-0, and the dominance just continues for Martinsburg. Woodson would finally get back on offense, but they would still struggle to block this front seven as the Bulldogs would force another 3 and out deep in the Warriors' territory. 2 penalties set the Dogs back into their own 44, making it look like points before the half was out of question until this explosive play from Kingston McDonald Gibson, and finally these running backs are getting involved in this offense. The Dogs go into the half up 63-0. The second half saw a running clock and 5-minute quarters, as this one was well out of hand at that point. The Bulldogs would score once more in the second half as McDonald Gibson would bust loose for 77 yards all the way to the 3-yard line, where he's dragged down by the horse collar, setting up Kevin Myers' 2nd touchdown run, and the Bulldogs would go up 70-0. HD Woodson does end up getting on the board late in the 4th, making this game 70-6, and that would be the final score in this one. I must say it was nice to see this offense look like Martinsburg again. Brian Dick was really good in this game, and that emerging young duo of Kevin Myers and Kingston McDonald Gibson at running back is very intriguing. The defense looked as great as it has all year, and overall, this is a great performance for the Bulldogs. I'd expect much of the same next week. My players of the game this week, on offense, I had to go Brian Dick. He was 10 of 12 passing, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, added 2 more touchdowns on the ground. This was the type of game we thought we was going to see regularly from him, and I hope this builds his confidence a little bit moving forward. And for defense, I had to choose Kobe Walker. He had the big interception, but this entire defense played incredible. And that front seven, the defensive line probably could have been a collective players of the game by themselves. They were fantastic in this game, as they have been all year. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe below. Don't forget to check out the Hedgesville preview video. It's a little on the shorter side, but it will prepare you a little bit for Friday night's game. As always, stay blessed. Go Bulldogs.